Hi.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us, Urvashi.
My pleasure completely.
Urvashi is a very well-known actor and has also dipped her feet into what I would say the social media spectrum, just as Payal has. Payal is a digital creator. I think there's a lot we can live and learn from the two of you today. So both of you, thanks very much for joining me as I take a deep dive into the gram, as I call it, to see what really is going on. Urvashi, you are such a well-known actor. You don't kind of, I mean, the kind of fame that you have on television, and I'm sure even in movies and other things. How does that compare with, your outing now on Instagram? I've seen some wonderful videos of you and your son. So how did you actually come around to it to begin with?
I think the credit goes completely to my son. He is more in trend with today's technologies and the apps and all of that. And it all started way before Instagram happened. And I was very apprehensive initially that, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. And, like, fair enough, acting and performing in front of camera is different. But performing in front of a phone camera is very different, according to me. But he was the one who actually pushed me towards it. And he said, let's try. And in fact, just about 3 hours ago, I've had a con call kind of a thing, a Zoom call with the Instagram influencers and everything as well, where I was saying the same thing. That is only because of my son that I actually managed to get on board with all of this. And I didn't realize that it would become so big. I had no
Yeah,
clue.
because I mean, it is something that our children know more than we think and more than
Huh.
we realize. And B, and I hear you when you say, you're comfortable in front of the TV. This is what you do, because it's the same with me. I can rattle off. You can disappear from my screen right now and come back in half an hour. I can still be talking. I can be on a TV camera and keep mumbling. But if you take me to a party and say, can you toast your best friend and speak live in front of people, I can't do it. I've
Yeah,
never been able to do it. So, there are different, there are
yeah,
different
I
ways,
completely relate to that. I completely relate to
right?
that. It usually happens, because we are also set in our heads, in a
Yeah.
particular manner. And in fact, personally for me, for so many years, when, acting is a different job, you're
Yeah.
basically, it's an action to a reaction. It's always a give and take. And I remember a time when people used to tell me, will you anchor? And I would be like, no, talking to a camera doesn't make sense to me personally. But here also, I suppose this is way different and you have to move with times. And so did I.
You have to. Yeah, no, no, you really do. And Payal, I'm getting you in here. How did you get into this?
So I
Ah,
space. I mean, I mean, obviously you have been following. So my beats are mainly lifestyle, fashion, beauty, food reviews, restaurant reviews, things like that. And I got into this whole space. I used to actually have pop-ups for international brands and various curated shows. And everyone used to, it started with the whole fashion field of people taking to my style and stuff. And then beauty sort of started coming in, and then the lockdown happened, so events was a big no-no. And e-commerce just sort of grew,
Yeah.
and it was out there. And then one thing led to the other, and brands started taking notice. Now, influencers come and go. They can, I mean, you can die a natural death. People won't take to you. You're not relevant enough, whatever. You don't last necessarily. In order to last, you have to remain relevant, move with the times, like Urvashi said. Also, when they can relate to you is when they can tell you're not talking from a script. Nothing is pre-scripted. You're actually reviewing a product and giving with the hitches and the glitches and all of that. That builds more organic content. So when I started doing that with things that I was using myself, or my own personal style, or my own recipes and things like that, people just started plugging in. It just kept growing, and it grew exponentially, and it just turned into full-fledged workspace. It turned into a career, and it's
So
been, yeah,
sorry, carry on.
years. Yeah, so that's what happened.
So are the two of you telling me that, there is absolutely no say when it comes to the brands that are investing in you?
No,
Is it a
I,
free,
no. There's completely say. You don't just. I mean, at least I don't just take on any brand that wants to, work with you. You have to resonate with the brand, and that's where
correct.
your followers will follow you, because they like you. They like your style. They like your skin. They like your beauty trends or your makeup or your sense of style or what you eat, your workout regime. That's why they're following you. So if you start plugging in brands just because the money is good or something like that, you're going to lose followers, right? Because then it's an ad, then you're just a magazine. But if you actually use it and you actually, you're out and about and people are seeing you wearing those clothes or actually using those products and they're seeing results 3 months later, you've taken them through your skincare journey, that's when they know that you're actually genuine. So I will only plug in the brands that I resonate with, not, I will sift through a lot of them.
Urvashi, what about you?
I agree with Payal, because you can't just relate to every brand that comes your way. You've got to somewhere start filtering as to what you want to do and how you want to portray. I'm not going to say image branding, but at the same time I'm going to say that if I am not going to be comfortable with something, why would I even go on board with it? It's very simple. It's as simple as that. So yeah, so Payal is more of Payal has answered this in a way better manner than me, because as far as an influencer goes, I am still a budding one. These guys are real pros at it. I am trying to gather my head around it
every day.
Yeah, so, I'm really trying to gather my head around it, to be honest, because that's the whole thing. Whether it comes to style, whether it comes to fashion, all I know is that, there are so many windows now that are open that you really have to shuffle, because you don't know what's going to, I mean to say, people can tell you a lot of things, Arey, aap pe to sab kuch acha lagta hai. Not necessarily, but tomorrow I try to do something and I look like one weirdo and I can't just go ahead and post that. Yeah, I think that's how it happens.
So Payal has kind of told us, what she specializes in. Urvashi, have you kind of found your niche in this?
Okay, so there's a big, I'll tell you something. The problem with me is, of late, when I realized that there's a lot of trendsetters, there are a lot of bloggers, as you may call it, a lot of influencers who do a lot of these posts. Like, she does a lot of fashion and reviews and all of that. I would love to do that as well, but then I'm busy eating when I'm at a restaurant. And most of them, they're all my friends around, and I just don't like being on the internet so much, like on Instagram, while I'm having my me time. So that's not me. Secondly, when it comes to branding things, people, there's a trend of new mummies, newlyweds, and all of that happening with a vengeance these days, I fall into neither. I fall into neither of the categories. So it all depends. She's not in the old category. She's not in the young category. I'm somewhere dangling in the middle. So for me, it all depends as to what comes my way. I mean, say some hair color product, but then they realize I already have color on my hair. So, it's a very tricky situation for me. Let me be very honest. I'm going to be very, very honest. Either they have to change their perspective, because I certainly can't change myself. This is who I am, and this is what I am, and this is what I bring to the table. Yes, I do a lot of brand promotions when it comes to a lot of jewelry, and because I was known for it, so I continue being known for it as well. Jewelry and certain Indian wares and all of that. But that's my comfort zone for right now. Western wear has just gotten into it. Now it all depends. It's a mix-up, Jyotsna. Let's be honest. You can't really, until unless you've decided in your head that you want to go on this one track, and just go ahead with it. I can't do that. I'd rather be versatile. I'll do everything.
But also, like talking about, brands and sifting through them, when I was saying that, you also have to understand the people who are following you for the content that they want to see. So you have to see your following. What kind of a following do you have? Do you have a food following? Do you have a, do you have a fashion following? Do you have a beauty following? It just depends on. If I have that kind of following, a kid's clothing range won't make sense, right? So it just depends on what your beat is, and you have to flow through that. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense for promoting brands.
So is it how tough is it to break through? I mean, Urvashi, you're just starting, like you said, and Payal, you're somewhat more established in this field. I want to hear this from both of you, actually. Your thoughts.
Payal, please go first.
No, like true. See, you have to be very, very genuine in how you portray yourself. I'm 40 years old. I have two children. My lifestyle also depicts that. So as long as people resonate with that, they want to see, oh yes, she can do so much more. So the younger generation also gets a little bit inspired that, yeah, I mean, age no bar to wear a short crop top or something like that. What is your fitness? What is your thing? What is your detox? So that's how you start resonating with an audience, right? So when they see that, that's how you break into that space. But if
Correct.
you one more, or you're just trying to be like someone else, or if I have an idol who's an influencer and I want to be like that person, I'm never going to make it because that person already has the following. What are you bringing to the table? How do you differentiate yourself? You have to be unique, you have to be authentic, and you cannot just, like I said, you can't just plug in anything and everything and just be an advertisement, because there are magazines for that.
So is that a thought that comes into your mind, Urvashi, that it could be a little bit more trickier than being an established actor?
Jyotsna, I'm going to be very honest and say that I have never really needed to give this a thought. I
Okay,
came
fair
on
enough.
Instagram when it started, and then suddenly, uh, not to blow my own toot or whatever, it's just that people have known of me,
Of
and
course.
automatically the followers happen. They follow me. I
Yeah.
don't know why they follow me, but I think the main reason they follow me is because I'm already an established name in the field that I come from.
Absolutely.
And it's not that I don't have to do much work to increase my followers or something. I never really ever gave it a thought. Let's be very, very honest. It was something that I don't come from the digital world. I come from an era where all of this never even existed. I became not just a name in my country, but in every other country.
Yeah, of course.
Without all these, without the gram, without
And the
the
social
Facebook,
media.
and without social media. So for me, what matters is social media is new. We're still trying to adapt to the whole concept of, okay, how does this work? And I know that it works in a particular manner. So we try to function accordingly. I try to cater to as much as possible. Like I do photo shoots, and people want to see you in different avatars. People want to see you in a different garb and a different way. So that's how I cater to them, and that's how probably people like me. And
So I
also
guess
for my reels.
So I guess there are actually two ways of approaching this. One, Urvashi, the way you've done it, you're already an established star. So you've taken all of that, your fan following, onto the gram in a sense. And there is Payal, who's starting from scratch on this and building it forward and building it, into a big name for herself there. I guess that kind of works for many other fields. Sometimes I feel as well like, because I was a writer, I could write a book eventually. I took writing opinion pieces into a book, and that's how we keep moving, because I actually think it's very important to keep evolving with the times. But what is the competition like, Payal?
So I said, we are influencers in India. Yeah, I have a bit of an international audience as well because I work with international brands too. But let's face it, in a country like India, your actual influencers, okay, like what the technical term means is you're influencing people to be like you, to adopt your lifestyle, to adopt the products you're endorsing and stuff like that. The real influencers in this country is Bollywood and cricket stars. That's the reality of the matter.
It's true.
No, there's much more to it, I personally feel. But yeah, let's stick to those two.
Yes, it's like when you joined the gram, you're an established actress. Your entire fan following followed you in a minute, right? That's the power of Bollywood.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that, but I personally also feel that there are lots of people who are also very new as far as even the audience is concerned. They were very new to this whole Instagram thing, and then graduate it. Basically, I would rather, if I have to sum it up in a shell, it would be like the way I have grown with television. I've seen television evolve from DD to what it is now. The same way, I think me and my audience has evolved from when Instagram started to what it is now.
Yeah.
Because it is a way bigger platform now.
Yeah. Of course. I mean, everything is.
Yeah.
No, Payal, carry on.
I'm saying everything is on Instagram today. So when someone like me, who's well known in a certain society, joins the gram and you build it up from there, versus someone who's well known across the board, all over India, is watching you on television like Urvashi, they want to see her in normal life, not dressed up as the star she plays. Then of course that traction is always there. But
No, of
that's
course.
a
I
celebrity is a regular.
I find, sorry, I'm interrupting, but I find that, the good part of this is that for a lot of you, especially Urvashi, you can come out and show people the kind of, the real you if you want to show it. If people want to show it, they can, without the paparazzi and the tabloids chasing you and building up something that is not there. It actually gives you a platform to come out and, to directly connect with the audience, doesn't it? Do you do that often?
Okay, so I haven't gone live for a very, very long time. In fact, most of my followers are here at this point of time because they were very excited that I'm suddenly coming on live, but with somebody else, with you in the sense, I'm not on my own page. So yeah, and I have promised them. I do try to connect with them as much as possible. Yes, through DMs and all of that. I do reply to as many as I can over my comments on any posts of mine. But at the same time, how do I keep it real is because I think I have never really gone out of the way or just put up portfolio pictures. I have put up random things also many a times. As far as paparazzi go, trust me, I might be probably the only actor of my in my place where paparazzi doesn't follow me because nobody knows where I am. It's very simple.
Which is good
You'll
for
never
you.
see me on any of these pages. There's a once in a blue moon, it'll happen. But otherwise, that's the way it is. I just give what is there. And reality is what they want by the end of the day. They want to see glamour. They want to see glamour. They want to see information. But at the same time, they are more prone to seeing what reality is all about as well. Yeah. It's like I'll sit in a coffee shop and I'll just pose with a coffee mug and that's it. Oh yeah, I did
that's
that.
it, and that works. So,
yeah.
So and so that's your benefit, right? That's your advantage. That you can just sit and.
But everybody can do it. I'm sure Payal can also do it. You can also do it. People who are going to watch and who are following you will watch it.
Yeah.
Will definitely watch it.
So how much of a hard work is it, Payal? I mean, we are, everybody on the outside thinks, it's a walk in the park.
It takes over your life. See, like maybe you've heard this before or something. What you see is a post or, if you're like plugging in a brand, then if it's an outfit or if it's skincare, you're doing stuff. But there's so much that goes into that post. There's planning, there's editing, there's digitally put together, there are photographers, makeup artists, locations. There's so much involved in putting that one post together. Now that is your branded content, but it's also very important to differentiate Payal Sen the person from Payal Sen the brand. Right? So if I'm sitting, like she just said, I'm in a coffee shop anywhere in the world and I'm having my coffee or whatever, that is me. That's my life. But tomorrow, if I'm promoting a coffee brand, it's going to be done in a very different way.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
The hard work's there in every way. It just depends. It's a tweak here and there. I mean to say, I can sit like this and just click a selfie and just post it and it'll still get hits. And tomorrow I'll go out of my way, I'll get a full portfolio done, it'll still get hits. And sometimes you'll be surprised, Josna, if I tell you. Most of the time, portfolios also don't get hits. If you do a proper professional photography and put it up, some of them of mine have not worked at all. It's failed. Whereas anything natural just works. Random things work, and sometimes I get so confused, and then I start and I have a team that works with me on my page, and I tell them, I say, what the hell just happened today? Like, why has this become such a rage? It's nothing.
Yeah, I can see you beyond
according
the heart.
In my head, it's nothing.
I can see you both.
According to me, it's a normal thing, but suddenly the thar, you see the likes. Yeah. Of course, it makes me really, really happy. But then that's what makes me realize that people want to keep it real as much as possible. Yeah.
So I'm taking from your line, the fact that it made you happy, and it that kind of validation in a sense. Now,
no, not really.
No,
it's just a moment. Likes also. I have 2,000 likes as well. then I have 20,000 also. It doesn't matter how many likes you have. Honestly, it has never bothered me. Like I said, I don't come from this era. I don't come
Yeah.
from this where I have to fight for, it's not a fight for survival for me. For me, this is
So
just another application where I am on, and
which is
it
why,
helps me
Urvashi,
connect.
yeah, I want to, sorry to interrupt, but this is exactly what I wanted to ask you. What is the advice that you would give to people who are in this era, who are obsessive, these kids, the millennials, the 20-year-olds who are obsessive about the likes, the photoshopping, the uploading, to the extent of everything else? I mean, what
I
would you
really
say?
don't know. I really don't know what to say. Honestly, Jyotsna. I mean to say, well, whatever tickles you, you know,
Yeah.
whatever tickles your fancy, whatever. It all depends on them. I mean to say, if they think that they can, no. Okay, let me put it this way. There are a lot of influencers, a lot of young ones who are really in this race, and honestly, they are making a lot of money out of it as well. So basically, that is their mode of income, for which it is a fight for them, for which it is something that they have to work towards.
Yeah.
I don't have to do that
Yeah.
because I already have another career on the line. This is a bonus.
Yeah, but I mean, your career is something that
for-
you worked for anyway. So,
Yeah, but
your
I
primary.
suppose I mean to say for influencers and everything, I mean to say this is the Gen X. Yeah, you can't really do anything about it. I mean, you just have to go with the flow. The way times are changing. I mean to say they'll tell me, "Arey, you're still sticking in your own old zamana." What old zamana? I mean to say, but people still remember me even after 20 years. Jabki I never post anything for what happened 20 years ago. Or the portrayal of my character 20 years ago. I don't do that at all. But people are still keeping it alive. And most of the
Very
influencers are
much.
actually keeping it alive. Let me be very honest.
Yeah.
So the advice is go for it, whatever. I mean to say, because you never know how long-lived or short-lived any field is.
Yeah.
It's about,
So,
it's a matter of how you maintain and sustain yourself.
yeah. So maintaining and sustaining Payal, how would you tell a younger generation, how would you set an example for them?
Okay, so first of all, don't chase the number. Nothing. The likes are irrelevant. It's
Yeah.
getting the content out there, it's getting your personality out there. That's all that matters. Don't chase numbers. 5 likes or 50,000 likes doesn't matter as long as you post it. The younger generation is obsessed with that like count. Also, understand Instagram as an app changes its algorithm very regularly. So your some posts will reach the reach when you see if you have a business page, you can tell your reach. Sometimes it's booming, and sometimes the next day, same time, it's gone because Instagram's changed the. So
Yeah.
all of that also determines your likes and your followers. And at one point, Reels was the rage. Today, Reels is dying down too. So all of that. Secondly, every influencer has become like me. We have become influencers because we already have a certain lifestyle that we could afford. There are other avenues of income. This is not the main thing. And because we
Correct.
have talent that we can show you that is it. So if this is your only mode of income, then you are going to showcase it in a very different way, which is not going to be organic, and that is not real life. That is, everything is a paid content, everything is a photo shoot. So the younger generation should not chase that. It's all photoshopped, that they don't look like that. There's lighting, there's editing, there's digital work. So there's this striving for perfection. That is why the dermatologist industry has become so big, because they think that that is reality. Aesthetical
Oh, yes.
enhanced your features. It's not real,
Right.
guys. If for anything that is a paid content, you have to digitally manipulate your pictures. Right? So first of all, don't chase numbers. All branded content, take it for the product. Don't take it for how the influencer is looking in it. Going for the organic post, going for the natural stuff. That is real life. So that's
Yes.
what
And to
has to.
always demarcate between the real and
Yeah, because I
the
just
reels.
horror stories about, at least I've heard it for Delhi and Bombay. I don't know about the rest of the parts of the country. Younger generation kids are going into depression if they don't get the likes. There's all sorts of nonsense happening there. So they really have to learn to differentiate. And social media is not everyone's cup of tea. If you can't handle it, just get off it for a while. Nothing should overtake your mental peace.
Yeah, and
Oh, I
something to
second
do
that.
with this blue tick all of a sudden. There's a certain obsession with it.
Yeah.
I didn't even know when I got it. That's the
Yeah.
beauty
No,
of
there
it all.
is.
I
Yeah.
mean to say, there was a one fine day I realized, and I was told by a friend, oh, I got blue tick.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
how
yeah, yeah.
No,
ignorant I was towards all this.
influencers who just like arrived yesterday, they bought followers, which will also
Of
die out very
course.
because Instagram knows that algorithm now, and they're buying blue tick for God knows how much money. Nobody cares. They're still gonna follow you with or without the blue tick if you're relevant. So why are you
So how
chasing?
much money? So how much money
I know.
can you buy a blue tick with any idea? I mean, it's
There
interesting. I
was a
had no
window
idea.
that had opened in the middle,
Oh,
but I
wow.
think now Instagram and Twitter and Facebook have come to a halt. Like, they've
Yeah.
completely, shut it down, because I think even they realized that all of this was happening, and they needed to put an end to it. So I personally feel there's an end to it. That I wouldn't know the nitty-gritties of it all, like she says, that everything changes every day. There's a new algorithm that takes place.
Now, now there's an option, hide like count, right?
Yes.
Came about why? This came about first in Australia because of the number of suicide rates chasing likes. Now it's coming to India. So this is real, guys. Mental issues because of this is real in the new generation. That's why
So,
Instagram now has hide like counts and all. So how we affect the younger generation is a very important responsibility. It cannot be taken lightly. I have friends, kids who are following me and stuff like that. They literally write down the names of the products and they go into the shops and they go chasing it. And they're willing to spend so much money on it. They also need to be budgeting it themselves out. So all of
yeah.
that, you sift through it. What is a necessity versus what is just an indulgence,
yeah.
So I can tell you, because I've written a book on children, on teenagers and their social media and mental health and all of that last year. I can tell you that a lot of them, you wonder how can they afford the kind of brands
Yeah.
that they do. It is by hacking somebody else's account and then selling it. That's the kind of that's a way of making money for these people, so that they can afford their habits, whatever it is, whether it is your cosmetics or it's drugs. It's a racket out there, and it's very essential to bring out the dangers. Before I let you lovely ladies go, what message would you send out to these people, Urvashi, in terms of what dangers that they could actually look out for?
Well, like everything has a good and bad side. So does technology, and so does Instagram, so does social media, so does the internet. Everything has its good and bad side. I think everybody needs to understand that you need to keep it as real as possible. This isn't your life. This is just another screen in front of you that is providing you with there's a part of it that provides reality, but a major part of it provides something very superficial, and you have to learn how to start differentiating between what's real and what's not. If you don't do that, it's going to be a never-ending saga for people to start going under depression, living in their own bubble and their own la la land. They will start creating their own world, and obviously then everyone's going to get cuckoo in the head. And so, as much as possible, just try to keep it real. You don't have to be on Instagram every day of your life, or every minute, or every second, or every day. No, I abscond for four days. It doesn't matter to me.
So do I. So do I.
So it doesn't really matter to me. Just keep it real. All of this is very superficial. I mean to say, for me, I love my fans. First of all, I hate the term fans. So I love the audience because they really love me. And the support that I get is how I get to know through Instagram. So that's what I love about Instagram. But at the same time, there's so much hate coming towards me. But if I start taking that to heart, then I wouldn't be anywhere.
But unfortunately,
right now also, in most of the comments I've been watching, there were some stupid comments that came up. Now, if I start reacting to everything, it's never going to be in my favor. So just chill, man. Think of it that ye aapka entertainment hai. This is your entertainment zone.
Yeah.
Instagram is Bollywood and Tollywood or whatever. Just think of it as another Instawood.
And stay real. Wonderful words, Urvashi. By ending with you, what would you tell parents who have young children who are, unmonitored on Instagram?
Firstly, if you've given your child a gadget, you need to monitor it. There's too many sites, there's too many ads, there's too many sponsored contents that can pop up anywhere. You have to be very, very vigilant. My 9-year-old doesn't even have Instagram as the app. His phone is only for emergencies. My elder one, is in a boarding school, so luckily they are so distracted with actually being with people rather than only following people. Minute of the day, going on to 20 different pages, seeing what are they doing, and as a result, they're not really living their life to the fullest because all they're doing is sitting and looking at a gadget and trying to chase what other people are doing, and then talking to each other. Oh, they went here and they went there, but what are you doing? So go out there, find what you're good at, find out your own hobbies, all of that. Your parents, you know, hone your child's skills now that the lockdown has opened up. Put them back on the field, put them back in their classes. Let them. Nothing can substitute human interaction.
Yeah, agreed.
Absolutely nothing.
Today, yeah,
Absolutely nothing. And I think the COVID and this, I think, you know, the last 2 years have actually taught us that, right? That, I mean, we've learned a very hard lesson. There's no substitute for social interaction, physical interaction, meeting people out for a walk, or, you know, just something as basic and simple as that. And it was a pleasure, lovely ladies, speaking with the two of you.
Thank you.
Payal, I want to tell you, my daughter's 13. She's still not on Instagram. So, yeah, I'm still. It's a fight every day, but I'm holding on because, you know, there's a world out there, learn, and, you know, and then, like you, both of you said, you know, you already reached other goals. This is just an additional goal and just another additional thing to branch out, evolve as you go along. It's a wonderful lesson, but it was absolutely lovely speaking with the two of you. I could have carried on, but I promised you both a half an hour. So wrapping it up here, and hope to get you again. All the best, Urvashi. Hope to see lovely videos of you and your son. Payal,
thank you.
Keep rocking. Thank you, girls.
Thank you.
Bye, Payal. Bye, Jyotsna.
Bye.